In today's video, we're going to be talking about keyword research for local business lead generation on Google Ads. So we're going to go over how to find those keywords. We're going to go over the types of keywords you want to find, and then I'll touch really briefly on match types after you've actually gathered that keyword list. So if you're new here, my name is Chris. I cover all things Google Ads and local lead generation. So if you want to see more content like this, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. But with all that out of the way, let's jump into keyword research. So before we actually get moving, there's two things you're going to need to actually do this research. Number one, most importantly, you're going to need a Google Ads account. So to get that set up, you're going to have to go to ads.google.com, go through the setup process. They're going to make you set up a campaign, probably put in some billing information, but you can pause the campaign after you make it. So you don't need to actually have a campaign up and running, but you are going to need a Google Ads account, a Google Ads campaign, to actually get access to the Google Ads keyword planner. And then on top of that, you're going to want a spreadsheet. So I just use Google Docs, or I guess Google Sheets in this case. And this is the way I kind of organize the keywords into keyword themes before we actually drop them into a campaign. So with all that said, let's hop over to the Google Ads account. And to get to the keyword planner, just go to Tools, Planning, Keyword Planner. And then you are going to see a screen that looks something like this. And what you want to do is you just want to drop in the kind of root keywords for whatever your particular industry is. All right, so for this particular example, I'm just going to go with concrete. So let's just hypothetically say I'm doing this for a concrete contractor and they are in Dallas, Texas. So again, you just want to put in some root keywords in there. You don't need to go wild with this. We just want to get kind of a general idea, and then we can kind of go from there. So hit get results, and you should see a page that looks something like this. And what I want to do is I want to narrow this down to the actual location that I am trying to get results in. So I'm going to hit this, and I am going to just grab Dallas, Texas. Let's see what that gives us. I want to try to get a little bit of a wider area. So I think if I do Dallas County, I believe should give us, that's what I want. Cool. So select the general area. You can go more, granular than this. Like if you just want to target certain cities, you can. For this, I'm just kind of going a little bit wider to get a little bit more data for the sake of this example, but just target the areas that you want to target to get a rough idea of the search volume. Hit save, and then our search volume here should update. So by default, it will sort all of this by relevance. So these are keywords that Google thinks are going to be the most relevant for your business. But what we want to do before we actually start assembling the list is we want to take note of, number one, like what are the services that we want to advertise for? And number two, we need to understand that the types of keywords we want to go after are high intent keywords. So we don't want to select keywords that are going to be, low intent or too broad. So things that are high intent are stuff like this: concrete contractors near me. That is it's going to be a more expensive keyword for sure, but that is the kind of keyword that we want to go after if we want to put an ad in front of somebody who is more likely to actually convert into a lead and convert into a customer. And there's going to be other keywords that we'll find when we're going through this, or when you're doing your keyword research, that are going to be just too broad, or just not really, either they're not going to be relevant services, or it's going to be too broad. So going through this, I don't see anything right off the top of my head, and I don't want to bore you scrolling through this entire list. But if you see something that is just broad, like concrete, or concrete patios, or concrete driveways, and that's just like, that's the keyword, that's it. You don't want to bid on that keyword, because if you bid on the keyword just concrete driveways or something like that, it's going to be way too broad. You could start showing up for a wide range of stuff that doesn't deal with somebody actually going to Google and then typing in, concrete contractor near me, or something like this, concrete driveway contractors. It's just not going to be relevant enough. It's not going to be high intent enough. And you're just going to end up wasting a lot of money on traffic that just isn't going to convert in leads. So we want to make sure we're getting high intent traffic, and traffic that's relevant to the services that we have. So going through this list, the reason why I have the spreadsheet up right here is what I like to do is I actually go through lists like this, and I will start pulling out keyword themes, because these themes are going to become our ad groups. So just based off of the keywords that we already provided, concrete contractors near me, that is going to be the start of an ad group. So I just take that idea, drop it over here, concrete contractors Dallas. Now this, going back to kind of keyword grouping and themes, it might seem like, yes, they're both contractors, but this is a geographic keyword. So we want to have an ad group that is specific to concrete contractors in Dallas. And if you want to learn a little bit more about ad groups, the video I actually did before this, I should have uploaded the day before, talks about structuring your campaigns, campaign structure, all that kind of stuff. And you want to take all these, group them into ad groups, because that's going to give your campaign relevance. Again, concrete driveway contractors. These are just the ideas that we kind of put in there, and we'll get into more as we go. This, again, is its own keyword theme. We want to put it in its own ad group. Keep going, concrete companies near me. This I would, again, kind of put into its own ad group. Same kind of idea as concrete contractors, but I'd rather the intent of companies, or the search term companies, I'd rather have that be its own ad group with its own ad, its own copy, have that be its own ad group as well. And I'm not going to go through this entire list because I don't want this video to be a 30-minute video, but you can start to kind of see how we're going to do things. If you do concrete repair, again, this would be another ad group. So we'd pull that out, drop it in our spreadsheet, concrete repair near me, foundation contractors near me. If you do foundation repair or pouring foundations, things like that, you can add that in. If you do not, this is another good time to kind of mention another facet that's really important when it comes to Google Ads, and that is negative keywords. So if you are somebody who is advertising for, you want to just get, say it's concrete patios, you want to get, driveways and stuff like that, but you don't want to do foundations for whatever reason, or, foundation repair, something like that. You want to add that in as a negative keyword. So let's just say foundation repair, or maybe you don't even want to do concrete repair. Like it's just sort of maybe not in your wheelhouse. Could be a smaller job. You don't really want to deal with it. You can literally take the keyword repair, and obviously don't add it to your keyword list here. Usually what I do, I create another sheet. I'll call this negative keywords, and then I'll start building a list of keywords that I don't want to show up for, and then add that to a list here. So it could be repair. You could add it in as repairs as well. And this is just building a list of negative keywords that you do not want to show for. So getting back to the list here, again, what you want to do is just keep going through this and then pulling out high intent keywords that are relevant to your service, that are relevant to the services that you want to show up for, and take them and just keep dropping them into relevant groups like this. And as we keep going, there's a ton of other ideas. Don't be too scared off by these, 10 search volume kind of keywords here. This tool is not going to be 100% accurate, but it's going to give you ideas that you can pull out. So you can see concrete patios near me. We can grab that and then keep adding it to our list. And you can see, you're going to start seeing repeating ideas. This is when you start putting all of these into the same ad group. So patios, concrete patio installers, that's going to go into its own ad group. And then just go through this list for your industry, add those to that spreadsheet as, the different keyword themes. And then what I'll do really quick is I'm going to go over keyword match types so you can understand kind of the next steps after that, because you don't want to build this keyword list and then just drop it into your campaign, because if you don't have any modifiers on it, you just kind of drop it in like this. What's going to happen is you're dropping them in as broad match keywords. That is going to just get you a ton of irrelevant traffic, and your ads are going to be showing up for a bunch of stuff you don't want to be showing up for. So we want to wrap them in match types, and we'll talk about that right now. So when it comes to match types, there's really two that you want to use. So number one, here we have exact match. You see these little brackets on the keyword. Exact match is going to show your ads for search terms that are about as closely related as possible to this particular keyword. And when it comes to phrase match right here, you can see these little quotes around the keyword here. Phrase match it used to actually mean what the name suggests, where it would show up for searches with that phrase. But nowadays, phrase match just means it's going to be a little bit looser than exact match. It's not going to be broad match, but phrase match is, let's say you're bidding on something like this, pool repair, Phoenix, Arizona. It can show up for things that kind of share that same intent. Same thing with swimming pool heater repair. It's not going to be exactly what that keyword is, but it will show up for things that are, still fairly related to that. But again, they share the same intent. So you want to make sure you're wrapping those keywords in exact match and phrase match types before you drop them into your campaign. Because like I said, if you just took all those keywords and you drop them in, like if I just dropped all these keywords in as broad match, my campaign would probably be just burning through money and wasting budget, because my ads would be showing up for a ton of random stuff. And then one more time before I leave off here, I need to kind of hammer home, make sure that you're dropping those keywords into your campaign as ad groups like this, and you're not just taking them and just putting them into one ad group, because it's just not going to work as well. It'll get some leads, but you're probably not going to have a super profitable campaign because it's just not going to convert super well. So go through the keyword planner, structure your keywords into ad groups, make sure you're getting those high intent, high quality keywords, and drop them into your campaign, and hopefully you can get some leads out of it. So that is it. At the end of the day, keyword research is not super complicated when it comes to generating leads for local businesses. Really, again, what it comes down to is get high intent, high quality keywords into your campaign, pull the things that are relevant to your service, and then structure them into those ad groups with the right match types being phrase and exact. And that's pretty much it. So hopefully this video gave you a little bit of value. If you did get some value out of it, a like and subscribe is always appreciated. And if you are somebody who wants to do all this yourself, you want to DIY a campaign and run it for yourself, there's a link in the description below for essentially a free Google Ads course that is on this YouTube channel. But if you are a owner of a local business and you want somebody to actually set up a campaign for you, you don't want to deal with any of this, you'd rather somebody set it up, manage it, optimize it, all that kind of stuff, there's a link in the description below for a free consultation. You can fill that out. It'll get sent over to me and I can see if I can help you out. But in the meantime, I hope you learned a little bit more about keyword research, kind of best practices, what you should do. And if you did, again, I'd really appreciate like and subscribe on the channel. It's really helpful, very helpful to kind of help to grow the channel. And yeah, that's it for this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks.